Hey everybody, it's Wahome from Wahome Gitonga Coaching. Hope you all have an amazing day. Welcome to another episode of Business Conversation Interviews, where we interview the most successful people from across various industries, from business authors, entrepreneurs, to doctors, lawyers, influencers, a variety of successful people. Today I have the privilege of being able to interview a good friend of mine and one of the top UK coaches in the country, Sam Power. Now Sam's going to be sharing with us his wisdom and insights on confidence, mindset, and how you could go about, you know, really transforming your life and having more joy, fun, and play in your life. So, without further ado, let me welcome Sam. Hey, Akil, good to see you. Just waiting to connect with Sam and then. Hey, Sam. Hi, then.
Hey, we made it!
Yes, so good to have you. Finally,
Ah, we didn't give up.
perfect.
Good to see you, mate.
So I'll dive. Yeah, you too. You too. It's good. So I'll dive with the first question.
You always make me
Hit you in the
laugh when
spot
I
straight
see
away.
you, in a good way.
Tell us about yourself. What's your background? And how did you decide to get into your business?
Oh, you're starting off right into it then.
Yeah, dive in straight away.
No, don't cut any time with any small talk. Oh, mate. Okay, so what was your question? Tell us just a bit about myself and the background behind the business that I'm currently
Yeah.
running. Yeah. Okay, well, my name is Samuel Power, and it must have been about 9 years now that I've been running retreats, workshops, working with people one to one on a really deep level. And well, like you know, mate, it's always evolving, right? It's
Hmm.
always how you kind of brand yourself one week can change a few months later. It's always evolving, okay? But at the moment, the
Hmm.
current Samuel Power is passionate about sharing the energy of unlimited freedom,
Hmm.
of connecting deeply to the heart, and inspiring people to connect to this inner spontaneity and this playfulness where we don't take ourselves so seriously and we remember to have fun again.
Hmm.
So I would say those are the three main elements that are behind all the services of whether it's a 5-day retreat or a Reiki seminar or working with someone one to one. It's always helping them to become more free, more loving, and more playful.
Hmm. So I know you described it there, but what was the? So I know you had different businesses. You had Transcend the Mind before. So like,
Yeah.
what's the main idea now behind the business? Like, what changed between Transcend the Mind to what you're doing now?
Oof. Well, I'd say probably the evolution is just guiding people to go
Hmm.
deeper inside to it's hard to put into words, to be honest. It's to deeper realms inside themselves that are really beyond the mind. And I guess a few years ago it wasn't as deep, so it's just getting deeper and deeper.
Hmm.
But you know, the more a person who has helped me along the way has said, you know, the deeper that you go, the lighter, the more lightness comes. So it's kind of like a paradox. You go deep, but then you uncover more lightness.
Hmm. Like
So
that.
I guess that's the transition. Yeah.
Like that. So,
Another thing to throw in is a friend of mine gave this lovely comment, which is, what's the point of enlightenment if your life doesn't get lighter? So I like that as well. What's the point of enlightenment if your life isn't getting lighter?
I like that as well. So, what's been the biggest challenge you personally faced when you started your business, and how did you overcome it?
Challenge? Where, just when starting off, do you
Yeah,
mean?
when
Or
you first started out, what was like the biggest challenge you faced with the business, and how did you then overcome that?
well, you know, the usual challenges I'm sure lots of people face, which are believing that it's possible, believing that you can provide for yourself, believing that you are worthy enough to share what you've got to share. Obviously, going against the grain and the normal routine of everyone, so facing judgment from everyone else who's in your kind of sphere at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I think what you mentioned is that I find a lot of business owners have that same issue. It's around the mindset, and it tends to be like sometimes the number one thing that beats them is their own self belief that they can do it, or they suffer from imposter syndrome, and they start doubting whether they
Yes.
can be a good coach or big business
Yes.
owner, or you know. So I think I get what you're saying there in terms of you have to master your own mindset in order to be able to grow your business.
That's it, man. It's all from within.
Yes, it is. So what do you think?
I like. Sorry, I just got to say,
Yeah.
I like the way you've your facial hair today. By the way, just got to
Thank
say,
you.
it's
Well,
looking very trim.
that's just COVID.
Just, I'm just throwing you off script just to see if you can deal with it.
Well, what do you think has been the neat skill that has helped you become so successful?
Unique skill.
Yeah.
Um. Well, I have always had a. I have actually always had a very strong belief in this sense of anything's possible. Just this knowing, this connection to a power inside that has no limits. So I've kind of been born with that to a large degree. So I've always had I've been lucky to have the characteristic to go and dare and to try new things, to go and, you know, just fuck it, just go for it. Just jump in, just try new things, not wait for anyone else's permission, just to, you know, jump off and take the lead. So that's been I'm very lucky to have that quality, yeah.
Well, that's a good quality to have. Not a lot of people have that.
No, but I was going to say I obviously have lots of other qualities which are more challenging, but that's a positive one. That I help other people really develop that because it's natural for me. That's what I help other people develop. Because just, you know, like you, I'm sure you help people develop things in your coaching. That's natural for you, right? That you've developed. So.
Yeah, I agree with you there. So what's one advice you give to people who are thinking of creating a business, but they're too scared to make that first step?
Well, I would first of all check in with the person. What is their root intention behind wanting to create the business, first of all, and that it's aligned with.
So we're listening there. Yeah, so check that it's aligned with, as we heard you last.
Yeah, so I check that it's actually aligned first of all with the heart, with the higher self, first of all, to get that clear and straight. And if that's aligned, first of all, which is a big part of it, because if you're starting something off for reasons that aren't coming from a deeper alignment, then it's not going to work out in the end. It's not going to be so fruitful for you. But if it's all aligned, then, you know, ultimately we've got to tackle the fears. You know what it's like. We've got to tackle the fears. What are the limiting beliefs that are stopping you? It's a deep process, but that, in the simplistic term, that's what we've got to look at. What are the fears that are stopping you from really believing and feeling that you are literally you have infinite and unlimited resourcefulness within you. Like, that is your truth. You are unlimited and have unlimited resourcefulness within us. So if that intellectually sounds great, but doesn't feel true, then we've got to explore what feelings and beliefs are blocking that truth. Because it's all very well just saying, yeah, just believe in yourself. Like, you're unlimited. Go on. Like, it's not as simple as that, right? We've got to explore and it's different for every individual. And, you know, we'll explore and go to the roots, and it might be in childhood when, you know, their fathers just said over and over again, like, you're useless, you can't do this, you can't do that, or whatever it is. It's different for every person. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. So, what are the most common reasons why people come to you for coaching, and how can you help people? I know you mentioned that briefly, but if you just do a bit more detail, yeah.
Well, there's a whole wide a range of surface level challenges and issues, from anxiety, want to improve social interactions, I want to release trauma from my body, I want to feel more confident, I want to align with my life purpose, I want to feel more relaxed, I want to find myself the right partner. You know, these are all various reasons. I want to connect more with my higher self. It depends where they're coming from, what language they use, what's their current experience, what's their current state of consciousness, as to how they will, what challenge level they will come with. But ultimately, it's always the same, really, the same thing that we're working towards, which is helping the individual become more the captain of their own ship, and more connected to themselves, more self-sufficient, more connected to their power, to their love, getting out of the mind and identification with being in the mind all the time, and transcending the mind and the separate personal self to something much more expansive and infinite and powerful. So that's really the root. What we all want, we want to transcend our individual sense of self, just in the mind all the time, and thinking and acting, and really drop more into the heart, and feel great and amazing, and connected with everything. And then there'll be various, you know, surface level challenges that people will come with, that are all linked to that root, if you like. Does that answer your question? I can't remember if you asked anything
Yeah, it does.
else.
Yeah, you explained obviously why people come to you for coaching, how you help people. Yeah. So, in a recent survey of 9,000 workers across various industries by UK Workplace, which took place last year, they found that 70% of women suffer from lack of confidence, while 60% of men suffer from lack of confidence. Why do you feel that so many people are suffering from a lack of confidence now, in your opinion?
Well, a lack of confidence is just a surface level symptom of a deeper root, which is what I really just was touching upon before, which is that people are not connected inside themselves deep enough to what they really are. If we were all more connected to what we actually are, and had the awareness and peace and love inside ourselves, which is what the journey is all about. So It's a journey. But that would then resolve, there wouldn't be any confidence issues, you know. When you really know what you are and you've really gone through the journey to reclaim your true self, then by default you're automatically confident. You know, you don't even have to worry about confidence anymore. It's not even a concept that even has to come into your awareness, because you've connected to more to your truth, to what you really are.
I like that. That's true. It is about having that connection to your inner self, and then working on your self-esteem, and that would then build up your confidence. And that ties into my next question, which is really like, in your extensive experience, why do you feel that so many people find it so hard to show themselves like self-love? And what would you like give in terms of like one or two advice in terms of how to have more self-love?
Well, it's a good question, and I can totally relate, as I'm sure everyone else can in the world, as to why it appears that many of us receive conditioning and programming when we're very young to give us the idea that we're not worthy to be loved, ultimately. And it's kind of like we get implanted with chips, if you like, with kind of foreign energies that we just are kind of unconscious, and then become just to identify with them. So then we identify with this mechanism that is always judging. It's always judging. It's always judging ourselves, judging others, and judging ourselves. Judging, comparing, separating. Judging, comparing, separating. So the way out, one of the first steps, is to stop feeding this energy of judging, separating, comparing. Is to take a step back and start to see that that's not what you are. This is where like meditation is one of the most powerful things that I think anyone can ever embark on, like looking inside. It's the only real way to sort out the outside, is to really look at what's going on inside. So when you start the journey of looking inside, you can start to see this judging, criticizing, comparing, blaming, doubting energies come up. And at first they'll feel really strong and maybe even overwhelming, I don't know, perhaps. But over time, the more you sit with them, they'll start to weaken. And really the love and the compassion is natural. It's like natural inside us. So it's not like we have to really go and search hard for it. It's more that we have to stop believing in the lies and the falsehoods. When we stop believing in the lies and what's not really us, then our natural love is just going to start shining through naturally. Does that make sense? So
Yeah.
It's like you don't have to go search for the truth. You have to discard what's false. You know, that's more the approach I've found anyway for freedom.
I like that. I think a lot of people end up spending their time comparing themselves to other people, and that's when they start judging themselves, and it affects their self-worth. And also, because we live in a society where we're told to prescribe, this is how the certain man looks, certain woman looks, and then we start judging ourselves based on their lifestyle, how they look, and especially like I think on social media, because it shows, you know, a world that's not true, you know, because anyone can go and post by a nice car, but doesn't mean it actually has their car, or they've rented a car. So, and then we start judging our life. Oh, well, I don't have that car. So yeah, I agree with what you're saying there. So what advice would you give someone then again, who's kind of like suffering from low self-esteem, and they've tried all different kinds of things, books, all this kind of stuff, and nothing's worked? Like, what would be the first kind of advice you'd give for them to you know, working with that self-esteem and then finding a way to move forward.
So your question is they've tried books and seminars and things, and they're
Yeah,
kind of
and
a bit of a end of like, oh God, what do I really do to
yeah,
help my self-esteem?
yeah, basically like, yeah.
Okay. So boosting self-esteem. There's various things we can do. I'm trying to feel into the point of really just being very low with it. What would be a good first step? Something that's manageable. Okay, well, one technique which can help is, which I did years back, and I remember that really helped, was do a self gratitude and acknowledgement diary. So every day, every morning, every evening, you write down, 5 to 10 things that where you're acknowledging the positive things about yourself. You're acknowledging the good things. You're acknowledging the positive. You're patting yourself on the back. So it's all about doing anything that reinforces this thing of acknowledging the positive and celebrating your wins, because the mind's so conditioned to just always be like on to the next thing, and never actually acknowledging right here and now what's going on and the amazing things that you've done today or that you've achieved in your life, because it's always just like, no, but this is missing, but I still need this, and like you said, they've got the car and they've got this and da 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 da. So you got to start reprogramming the mind's pattern from lack to gratitude and acknowledgement. Celebrate your wins. Make a little list, like for the week, of ways in which you can make love to yourself. So yeah, you got to start making love to yourself. If you want the love from the other person in the world, you got to make love to yourself. I don't just mean in a sexual way, although that might be something that people want to experiment with. But it's in all the details. It's in everything you do. It's like the clothes you wear. It's the food you're eating. It's the things you're doing in the day. It's the people you're hanging around with. It's everything is a reflection. So, say for this week, okay, 3 things I'm going to do or invest my energy in that's like a way of making love to myself. Yeah. So, for example, for me, I might be like, I'm just gonna play my guitar for an hour, and just have no objective, just give myself permission to play guitar. Or I'm gonna go on an adventure somewhere, to the beach or to nature, and I'm gonna. So you give yourself.
So Sammy, I like that. I mean, you still, Samuel, you still there?
I'm
Okay,
back. Are you
yeah,
here?
we can hear you. We can't
It was
see
getting
you,
too.
but
It
yeah,
was getting too. It was getting too. With all this love making, it was.
yeah,
It's hard to handle.
yeah. So I think I like what you're saying there, because I do feel that a lot of times we have lost that self-care element. We don't look after ourselves. We don't prioritize our own selves, and we don't show ourselves loves in terms of celebrating our wins. So I do feel that that is a big thing that I notice, especially in my coaching, that people will brush their wins, their achievements aside, and they'll always be kind of like in that rat race, searching for the next thing. They don't actually look at the things they've achieved and actually show that actually, yeah, I am making progress. So I agree with you there. That's a good point you're making about loving yourself. Make love to
I,
yourself. I like that.
I'm just seeing people are making comments. Is someone saying I start dancing, reading, yoga, meditation? Yeah, exactly. Anything that gets you. What do you do? What do you do to make love to yourself, Holmes?
Me, I like salt baths. I
Yeah.
like reading books in my garden, doing some
Oh,
gardening, I like walks in the park, like meditation, doing some yoga, or exercise. So I think those are things that help me. Or doing a course. I love personal development. So for me, anything that helps me to grow, like gets in my element.
Oh, see, I can see your smile lighting up. That's it. Got to touch our soul. That's it, man.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay, so next question. What do you think is the most common reason for people kind of like failing to create a life of meaning and purpose? Why is it that so many people often end up feeling like they lack purpose or there's no meaning to their life?
Mm. Well, it's always coming back to this root of a lack of connection with our true self. That's the ultimate answer for everything I think I would give. But in a bit more practical terms, our consciousness here on earth is why are we not so connected with our true self, where really there's no problems that exist and everything just flows fine and happy and Larry. So why is that? Well, because our consciousness here on earth is like heavily saturated with fear, right? The fear consciousness is strong. So this is what stops people from connecting to a life of meaning and purpose, because they are imprisoned in their own little fear bubble, where really, well, the root fear is that they don't trust themselves enough. They don't trust what they really are enough. So because there's the lack of trust, because of how we've been brought up and conditioned in every way possible to not trust ourselves, to be dependent on others, to doubt ourselves, to seek approval, to search for things to enhance the image of an ego that isn't even who we are. So because we've had this conditioning and we don't trust ourselves, we're kind of, at a certain point, we come to realize, shit, like, what's going on? Like, I don't feel right. I'm not living my purpose. But then you're in all this fear. So it's clouded. Your vision's clouded. And you're just kind of in this fear of, if I really go for what I want, what are people going to think of me? Am I going to be financially supported? Will it work out? All these doubts and fears come simply because we don't trust. They don't have enough trust in them. We don't have enough trust in who we really are.
Yeah, I think that's good. That's a good point. There is that. I noticed it from my personal journey as well. Like maybe like 6 or 7 years ago, I also had the same thing. There was there's a lack of trust in myself, especially when I was starting up my business. To feel like, is this going to work for me? I'm going to leave a job, but have security, and there was all those fears again. Will I fail? All the things that that kind of I'd noticed that would hold me back from taking actions and moving forward. So I do agree with this. It's about having that trust in yourself and working with that to ensure that that you are willing to take those risks and take the actions going forward.
That's it. It's leap of faith, right? I'm sure on your journey you've had to take some leap of faiths to get where you are, right? It doesn't just come in like a perfect cardboard box, like follow A, B, C, D, E, and you will arrive at your perfect destination. That's not how life works, is it? Otherwise it would be boring. Just be like, just follow the step there. No, the point is it's a leap of faith, and it's how deep is your faith. Is how deep the reward is of the life you want to live.
Yeah, I totally agree there. So, what advice would you give to someone?
Ivan's just said, "Fear contracts, love expands." There we go, Ivan. Spot on, mate.
What advice would you give to someone who was struggling with a past experience that was blocking them from moving forward?
Past experience. Okay, so
this could be like a bad relationship. It could be they failed at work, got up for promotion, or it's kind of like this experience is holding them back from being able to move forward.
Sure. Well, the word that comes is resistance, and how resistance is the primary cause for our suffering and our pain. So what we're working on during this, when we go through this process of clearing ourselves and becoming more empowered and loving, is we're working through all resistances that we have in the mind, in the mental body, the emotional body, the physical body, the etheric body, in all our different bodies that we have as a human being, our multi-dimensional being. There are, when we've gone through our life before, at certain points things have happened and we have said to ourselves, no. We've just gone, no. We've said, no, that shouldn't have happened. That is not good. We've judged it again. We've identified with that judging energy. So then it gets stuck. So then we walk around, we carry on our life, and we can't see it so clearly. Well, some people can see those subtle bodies. But you're basically walking around with various sort of holes in you, if you like, or stuck blocks, which are just past occurrences where you've gone, no. So you've got to go back, you've got to journey back and basically come to a point of yes, of acceptance, of forgiveness, of acceptance, forgiveness, of love, of compassion to everything that's been. And if you can come to that point in you, you are free from the past. You are free. What a liberation to give yourself, to be free from the past, when you can totally accept everything that's been just the way it is, and give yourself acceptance, and know that you've always done your best with the level of consciousness that you've had. You've always done your best with the level of consciousness that you've always had, as has everyone else. Everyone's just doing their best within the level of consciousness that they have. When you have that understanding, that can help you to go back, kind of travel back in time, and just make peace with the past, accept, and then you don't have to carry it around anymore. Then the energy that's like this stuck in you can breathe, transmute, and kind of come back to you, if you like, in a more whole version. So you're not walking around with all these fragmented, broken parts, but you're walking around now more whole and complete here and now. You've like kind of reclaimed all your lost children, if you like. You've gone and just nurtured them in and gone, it's okay. Now, this is very easy for me to say, like speaking to you about it intellectually. Emotionally, obviously, it can be painful. It can be very intense. It depends on the trauma. And yeah, so I say this, oh yeah, this is easy, just do that. But in reality, depending on the trauma, this can take time. It can take work. You might want to find someone to help you, to guide the process. It can be deep work to reclaim all your lost children.
I like that. It's true. I think you underlined the importance again of having a coach. So
yes. Well, I am pro. Yeah, I am pro. Of course, pro that.
So I hope I pronounced this correctly. So you're a Reiki master practitioner. Could you explain how the practice can help people with, maybe removing blockages or increasing confidence, and how you use that in practice?
Sure. Well, when I just connect to Reiki, it's just it just sends me to a magical place. I'll try and answer to you in in human language and keep it abstract, not abstract, the opposite of abstract, concrete, because it gets a bit abstract. But basically, it's have you had Reiki before? Have you experienced? No, okay. So it's hard to explain if you've never experienced. You might just not mean much, but it's like you're tapping in to a portal of energy that basically just clears you out, just cleans you out, just helps to shift all these blockages and contractions in the body, mind, emotional body, all our different bodies. It just basically heals and helps align and balance and flushes out. It's like a flushing out system. Have you ever had the experience of like kind of releasing things, of things
Yeah.
flushing out, right? So it's just a tool to do that. It's just like a tool of like flushing out on steroids. It's like hardcore. It's just like an intense flusher. And you can target, the more you go deeper into Reiki, you can tune into different energies. So again, if you're not aware of the energy world, it might sound a bit woohoo, a bit crazy. But if you are, then you know what I'm talking about. And you can tune into different frequencies of energy and treat different parts of the human being. So we can treat more the physical if we need some physical healing, or we can treat the mental body if we need more mental healing, emotional healing, or soul, body, spirit healing, depending on what the person needs.
Okay.
You're like,
Well,
what the hell are you on about?
no, I mean, because I've done some energy work, so I've done
Okay.
like tantra and stuff, so I do
Okay.
understand in terms of energy and stuff. So
Yeah.
so yeah, it makes sense. You're just using the energy to heal people. So yeah, it makes sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
So tell us, what's one of your favorite client success stories and why?
Oh, well, that's a good question. God, you got some good bloody questions, haven't you, mate? Hmm. Oh. Oh. Okay, well, the one that comes to mind
Hmm.
first is this lovely Brazilian man who I've just had the pleasure of working over the years in depth, several residentials. So I'd go and stay with him at his place in France and work with him for several days at a time. And we do that every few years. So, I mean, that's been just phenomenal to see the transition over the years, the long-term transition from where I first met him, where he was like, Mr. kind of workaholic in the mind, just like thinking like, oh, if I sleep with enough women, that will then I'll be happy, that kind of mindset, and just like money, and not that anything wrong with money or anything, but that was it. That was the only thing. And then to see his progression over the years of just going into more personal development, into self-esteem work and confidence work, and then to even deeper into the spiritual realm, to the point now where, if I'm correct, I might be wrong, but the last time I spoke to him, he was basically living in an ashram in India with this guru, and he's sharing profound yoga, techniques around the world to help people like awaken to their deepest self, So he's now basically a guru, and to just we had the pleasure of teaching a yoga class together in France like a couple of years back, and that's a lovely story of someone just in a business. He was working in finance, all like tense and like and nervous and just like money, and now he's like, okay, now please breathe in. He hasn't got an Indian accent, but yeah.
That's a
Oh,
good,
thanks for that question, mate.
that's a good transformation. No, I love that transformation. I think it's something that we're all looking, kind of striving to have that kind of transformation, to be able to connect with our inner self and be more enlightened. So I like that. So
it's like that book. Have you read that book, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari?
no,
You read that? Oh, okay. It's good. Robin Sharma. It's like a similar transition. He's like a Ferrari, big high businessman, and then he becomes a monk or whatever. So yeah.
so my next question basically was, with mental health, such a big topic of society right now. Why do what would you just advise someone who's currently struggling now with depression and mental health issues? Because obviously it's such a big topic right now in society.
Yeah. Yeah, and I can really personally really that really touches me, because on my personal journey I've had to really go through and understand very much that energy of depression, of not wanting to be not wanting to actually be alive. So really that really you know, touches me. And I mean, so much that we could do a whole thing about this topic, really. But the first thing that comes is just to say, anyone who thinks they're in that sort of space is just like, make sure that you have a support network. You have a support network, that you don't fall into the trap. This is a big trap that happens when you're in that mindset that you isolate and cut off, and you don't trust. You don't trust that people will be able to hold space for you or accept you. So that's like paramount. It's just make sure you have enough strength to support network there. Your loved ones, your friends, like get in the right environment. Make sure you look after your sleep, your food. Just make sure you're in an environmentally supportive place. Like that's just so important. And then from there, you've got the foundation to really start healing and transcending it. But that's like the number one thing I'd say, is just make sure your support network is strong and your environment is calm and supportive. And, you know, like move house if you need to move house. Do whatever you need to do to just make the environment supportive enough, because there's nothing more important than your well-being. So I'd say.
Yeah, I agree with that there. And I think it is around the people you surround yourself with, because you surround yourself with people who are negative, always complaining, always not really showing the desire to grow themselves. And that, again, that's going to have a massive impact on your mindset and your own life that you create for yourself and the stories you tell yourself. So I think, again, when you're talking about support network, you need to surround yourself with people who are supportive, motivating you, and also inspiring you, you know, in whatever way that looks. I think that's a crucial thing that a lot of people don't do. They hang around with the wrong people. So I like your point there about having the right support network around you. So during difficult times that we're experiencing now, with COVID, with the whole race equality, like a lot of people are feeling demotivated. So what two things that you do to help yourself stay motivated during difficult times that we're experiencing?
Good question. I'm just smiling because I've noticed Mina said, I love that teddy bear at the back. It was, I'm going to answer your question, don't worry. But this teddy bear was a present from my grandfather when I was 6 months old. JP. Yes, so during this time, to stay motivated, yes. Well, first and foremost, I don't tune into the mass fear that's being propagated around. You know, I'm not listening to the radio. I'm not looking at the news. I'm aware, obviously, of what's going on and sensitive to things on a practical level, but on a mental and emotional level, I'm just disengaged. I'm not denying like COVID's like happening. I'm respectful to what's going on, but inside me, it's as if it isn't happening. Basically, it's like whatever. Like I'm not feeding it with any. I'm just not feeding that energy, because it's basically like a cloud of energy that comes along. Do you remember Jane? Remember Jane?
Yeah.
You met Jane? Yeah. So she had the term egregore. She used this term egregore, okay, to basically like describe almost like clouds of energy, and all they kind of want to do is just suck. They want just more human consciousness to feed it. So there's loads of egregores in the world. Some are positive, some are negative. It's just like for example, the egregore of like Manchester United Football Club. That's like another mass consciousness. Yeah, if you get hooked in with a bunch of Man United fans, like I was a Man United fan, you'd be like, and you start like all sort of saying the same things and chanting songs and being like, or let's say like evangelical Christianity. That's another thing. If you get in there, then you're all kind of like in the same boat. And so, and there's nothing, you know, I'm not judging any of these, but the COVID thing, again, it's just another like an energy cloud. So it's just like wants to hook in. It's definitely one that has lots of fear in, I would say. So I just don't plug into it. I just literally like just carry on. Just carry on as if like just don't even give any energy to COVID. Just do what you can with the resources you have. don't feed into thoughts about worry of the future or anything like that. Just focus on today. What can I do today to bring joy? Keep it simple. To open my heart to do something nice, and just focus on that. Just focus on the one day at a time, and don't get caught up in, oh, what's gonna happen? And oh my god. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you're talking about living the moment.
Exactly.
Yeah, that does make sense. So, could you provide us with 2 or 3 resources? This could be books or podcasts that really help. You can recommend actually our viewers that really helped along the way in terms of overcoming self-esteem or improving or creating like more meaningful in life.
Well, the best resource, which I know won't be interesting for many people, is themselves. That's the best resource. Look inside yourself and be your own guru and your own guide, okay? But I will give you, I know, sometimes resources are really helpful as well. So let me think specifically for that sort of thing. Who's been inspiring? Holmes. I think self-esteem. It's funny because I struggle to actually think. I'm not much of a resource. Alan Watts. You've heard of him? He's pretty cool. His literature is nice and humorous. Oh, Stuart Wilde. Okay, this guy recently, who I've come into contact with, Stuart Wilde, and he has a great book which Ivan, you will know, called The Infinite Self. And this has been a pretty powerful book to come across recently, which helps. It's got 33 steps. It's on YouTube as well. 33 steps to reclaiming your personal power, and basically helping you to transcend the ego's control of your life and step into who and what you really are. So that's a good resource to give you.
Thank you. So we know what you're really good at. What's one hobby or activity that you're not very good at?
One hobby
or activity you're not very good at?
Oh, loads of things. Well, I'm still learning about many of things. I'm still learning how to be aware of the real basic human things. I'll try and be more concrete. So, practical things. Okay, so if something comes with an instruction manual, right, that I've got to read through to build like a barbecue or something, that's like my nightmare. My mind's like just, it's just out there. It's like vroom, vroom, out to the universe and the stars, and it's like, to focus on this building a little. Step 1 is doing this, and then I've got to put the third screw. Oh my god, that's so difficult for me.
So DIY is not your thing.
DIY is not my best thing. I did try a bit of carpentry last year, like basic things, but if I've got to like go through instruction manuals and stuff and think about small details, I'm not the best at that.
I'm not either. So
are you not either?
No. I can feel you on that one.
Could you do IKEA?
I'd probably pay for someone to do it for me.
Okay, you're just like me then.
Well, I suffer with extras out there,
Say again?
There's extras out there, so why suffer? Like,
exactly.
Do the job.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so our next one. This is more like 2 questions in one. So the first bit is what's next for you, and the second bit is how can people reach you to work with you, what social media platforms are you on, and what's your website information that they can reach you?
Cool, man. Thank you. So what's going on at the moment and what's happening next? So on the website, samuelpower.co.uk, we've got, one-to-one coaching, deep work. We've got Reiki teaching the levels 1, 2, 3, and 4 of Reiki healing. We've got a regular Wednesday. This is a really cool thing that started a month ago. A regular meditation and inspiration group every Wednesday, which is really cool, on Zoom, and the details are on the website under services or offers. And that's really cool. We've got a group of regulars coming now every week, meditating together, sharing inspiration together, just like motivating each other. So that's cool. That's every week. Sharing like a Facebook Live every Saturday now, and playing a bit of music, which, as you know, I love music as well. So I'm going to be recording about another 10 songs soon, and getting the music out there. And then, I'm sure there's a few retreats in the pipeline coming, and really the big project in my heart is whenever the time is right, and respecting the alignment of things, is to keep working towards building a healing center with the right people, which I was doing kind of in Portugal on a rental basis, but to keep progressing with that over time. And just spread love and light to the world, and in whatever shape or form that comes up, just being open to share the love, share the power, share the joy.
Well, I'd recommend anyone to work with Sam. I've worked with him before in the past, and he's an amazing coach.
Freedom!
So I definitely would say you'll get a lot of good results with Sam and growth. And the final question, what's one final piece of advice you'd want to give people who are looking to increase their confidence and master their mindset?
Go and spend a weekend in, maybe longer, but at least a weekend, somewhere completely new that you've never been to before, by yourself, and away from your phone, away from all your usual things that you hook on for security and safety, and just cut loose for a few days, let go, just be with yourself, and see what comes up.
That's good advice. It reminds me of when I did that retreat with you up here. I can't remember what it was.
Oh yeah.
Up north.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Was it in Kent? No.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, and we had to be in nature, no phones. That was really good. That really helped.
There you go. Get clarity within, and then the outside will follow.
Yes, that was a really good weekend.
That was good, wasn't it?
Yeah, powerful stuff. Yeah, so
I can picture you with your little hat on. I remember you.
Powerful stuff it is. Yeah, I think anything what will go on with it, say, but anything with nature or being out in the wild and just being able to have that time to be away from your phone and have clarity is so crucial and vital that people need to do more often.
Amen.
Yeah. So Sam, it's been an amazing pleasure to interview you and hear all your key insights, because I think you've really been a huge benefit to everyone today, and everyone who's going to watch this later, lovely teddy bear, is going to really find this video really beneficial and learn lots. So obviously we wish you the best of luck in the future. And,
thank you, mate.
Me
too.
And hope you have a great evening. And for everyone else that's watching, there'll be more business conversation interviews coming up soon. There's one tomorrow at 5 p.m. So check it out. We're going to have a guy called Tim Brownson. He's an NLP expert, so he's going to be sharing his uh, insights around NLP and how you can master your mind. Otherwise, you know, have a great evening, and Sam, have a great evening, and we'll speak to you soon, and we wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Honestly, it's been a pleasure. You're awesome. Keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks, Sam.
Freedom!
Freedom.
Freedom! Come on! See you later.
I'll see you later, Sam.
Lots of
Bye.
love.
You too.
Bye.
Bye. That's love, bro.
Bye.